Okay, what did I just watch? Okay, before I get into what I just binge watched over the last 2 days, how do I get into my low, my high, my active kindness? Ow. Okay, I wound up hitting myself a little, that's my low. I wound up hitting myself too hard. Ow. Ah, man, I actually brought a tear to my, oh my God. I legitimately hurt myself. My high is the fact that despite what I watched and what I'm about to talk about, I really did enjoy it. But I have some very incredibly detailed explanations to try and get by. And my act of kindness was, what was my act of kindness? I guess, did I do anything that was considered an act of kindness? Well, I guess it did help out that one lady by holding the door for her. Yeah, that's an act of kindness. So, good morning, happy Wednesday. Actually, you know what, considering what, I was gonna say, I should say hump day, but by my recollection, centaurs don't really have any humps. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, picture this. You have a setting that takes place in a land completely ravaged by war. And you have a horse and her rider, fighting all sorts of monsters in this war-torn world. They come across an artifact, and yet somehow it transports the horse into the most bizarre, colorful, cute, bubbly sort of world I think I've seen since that one episode of Rick and Morty where Rick made that sort of place for Beth. So this is Centaurworld. Okay, if you don't know, Centaurworld is like this new show on Netflix that's an animated musical comedy in which the war horse, or she just goes by horse, okay, gets transported into a world full of centaurs that are of different species, shapes, and sizes. Like, there's one centaur that's a giraffe. There's one centaur that's a zebra. There's one centaur that's like a bird, I think. There's one centaur who I cannot for the life of me think of what kind of species it is. All I know that it's a klepto. I'm going to look that up. Hold on a second. Alright, okay, let's see. Just 5 or a second. Okay, it's Gerenuk. What is a Gerenuk? Okay, also known as the giraffe gazelle, long-necked antelope. Okay, so that answers one of the many, many, many questions I have of this show. Alright, there's one that's an alpaca too. A pink alpaca. Because you couldn't just make this universe any cuter. Okay. And apparently in this crazy centaur world, like, all the centaurs have, like, magical powers. Like, Okay, you know what? I actually gotta look this up because I need to actually list them all in like different places in order. Okay, Centaur World spells. Okay, let's see. Um. Okay. Let's see. Um. There's blink and you create sparkles. Wobbly legs. Portal tummy. Where that's the klepto one, where like you take something and like you open a portal to your tummy and like you put something in there. Turning spots into pies. Shooting tiny versions of yourself from your hoof. Okay, you know what? It's probably coming across that I really don't like this show. Far from it. I love this show. Like, I'm not a brownie by any stretch of the imagination, but now I really see the appeal. So, here's the thing. Obviously, the horse and her rider are separated, and the horse is, trying to find her way back home to her rider. And it's obvious that this show is going to have more than one season. I mean, they probably could have found a way to wrap it up at the end of this season, and I'd be okay with it, but no, I think they're going to turn this into like a 3-season thing, which I guess I'm okay with. I mean, I think they're going to do sort of what, Amphibia is doing right now. The only difference is, or it took Amphibia 2 seasons for Anne to technically get home, even though we still have another season to go, which is actually premiering in early October. Yes, I'm excited for that. Technically, Centaurworld, spoiler alert, sort of did that at the very end of this season, where horse and rider are reunited. But apparently, when you enter like the rift, I don't know why my computer's on my lap anymore. Hold on a second. Apparently, when you enter the rift, there's like, you have the door to Centaurworld here. You have like the door to Human World here. And like in between, you have like this giant white void room thing. And apparently, somewhere deep within there, there's this one creature called the Nowhere King. And apparently, the Nowhere King is responsible for like the war that's going on in Human World. And give credit where credit's due. There was like the end of the season had a great like climactic battle where like everyone's teaming up and they're fighting the Nowhere King, and Ryder takes like the staff that was forged from like the key used to open the rift and like really gets the Nowhere King right in the heart. But then like there's this one like mysterious old lady who's like, the Nowhere King is not defeated. And then the Klepto, I'm just going to call it the Klepto Centaur because I'm sorry, I could not make out what, the character's name was Glendale, but I cannot make out I for the life of me could not make out like what species she was, even though I just said it was a Gerenuk. And you know what, I'll be nice. The Gerenuk Centaur was like, but we saw him exploded. Which, yes, the Nowhere King did exploded. We just witnessed that. But like the Nowhere King is not destroyed. So basically, Ryder goes back to the human world to gather like the general, if we ever meet the general, and like the remnants of like the human army. And Horse stays behind because it's going to take apparently 2 armies to fight the Nowhere King. So Horse stays behind and is now going to try and gather a centaur-related army so that when both armies unite, they have a united front against the Nowhere King. Which you know what? I'm sold. I want to see season 2 right now. But, I mean, by all accounts, you would think that this show really isn't for me. And maybe so. But then again, I am very much easy to please. If I see something that appeals to me, and I'm trying to think of why this show appealed to me too. Maybe it was, and then, you know what, I actually did think of this as I was going to bed last night. By all accounts, the fact I binged, because here's what I did. On Monday, I saw like 2 episodes, and yesterday, I saw the entirety of the rest of the season. So, for a total of 10 episodes. I'm trying to tell myself, I didn't need to do that. I could have actually spaced it out over the course of however many days. Well, honestly, if I didn't do that, I wouldn't be able to talk about this now. So why did I binge watch it the way I did? For that matter, why do I want to see another season now? And then I thought back to what the Blockbuster Buster used to say about what constitutes a franchise or a movie or a show being great. And it actually hit all the right notes. For those of you who don't know, the Blockbuster Buster once said it takes 3 very important things for a movie or anything like that to be great. It should tell a good story. It should be entertaining, which Centaurworld for sure did the first 2. And then it should show you something you've never seen before. Which, what about this show have I never seen before? Because the whole thing about, transported into another world, stuff like that, that's been done many times. I just talked about Amphibia. They did that too. Or another example, Disney's The Owl House. That works as well. But I've never seen it be done from the perspective of what would normally be considered a secondary character. Because here's the thing. In a different show, that horse would not be the main character. Not at all. Best case scenario, it becomes a secondary character. Possibly, primary 1A character, kind of like Maximus was in Tangled. So, I have to say, well, that plus a world that's entirely different from, the typical human-related looking characters into legit centaurs. That's also something I've never seen before. And the music was really good. The voice cast was great. Major props go to Kimiko Glenn, who's the voice of Horse. I have to say, I've seen her in in 2017 DuckTales and Into the Spider-Verse. She has really come into her own as a voiceover actress. I mean, she's done plenty of on-camera work. In fact, I do believe she was in Orange is the New Black. But she really is starting to come into her own as a great voiceover actress. I think if she has enough time, she really could be in that sort of higher end of this new generation of voiceover actors that, my generation and maybe a little bit older consists of. Because, in that generation, you have older people like Will Friedle, or really anyone who's ever worked at Funimation. And on the lower, younger end, you have people like Eric Bauza and Mae Whitman. And, I guess to a small extent, Dante Bosco. And Kimiko Glenn is really starting to come into her own. So, she can definitely helm a series. No doubt about that. The music it's as wonderful as it is bubbly, crazy, and just all sorts of fun. So, I really enjoyed this show. It's on Netflix right now, and, I was able to watch it, online. But if you're looking for something new on Netflix to watch, this is definitely worth your time. I mean, it's only 10 episodes. It ain't that long. You can bang it out. And, I mean, again, it took me essentially, I guess, a day and a half when I found the time to watch it all. And I'm legitimately glad I saw it. Am I going to watch this whole season again? I don't know if I'll go that far. But I'll definitely remember that I watched it. So when season 2 comes out, I'm going to be like, oh yeah, I watched the first season. And I remember really liking it. Here we go again. So, yes, Centaurworld, definite A-OK for me. I mean, I still can't believe I watched it. I mean, I haven't been this sort of confused about... You know what? I actually have one tiny problem with the show. Only one. And it's a nitpick considering everything I've just talked about. And that is, this show released a month too late. I can legitimately see this show being released deep within the heart of Pride Month in June. Because this show premiered on like late July, and Pride Month was in June. I can definitely see the show being released in June. I mean, literally, one of the main songs of the series is Hello Rainbow Road. Like, hello, Pride Month, the symbol is a rainbow. I don't know, maybe it was because of marketing or, I mean, we are in the middle of a pandemic, maybe that had something to do with it. But that is a minor nitpick, if there ever was one. I recommend this show. Give it a watch. And I also really like how one of the main... Because here's the thing. Horse is slowly transforming into someone who looks like they live in Centaurworld over the course of the season. And in the end, while she's nervous that Ryder won't recognize her, she learns to like accept the things the way they are. And I think that's a really big message for kids to learn is acceptance. So, yeah, it's a great message for kids too. And they'll like the colorful characters and the music and such. So, yeah, I'm definitely down to watch season 2 when it comes out. In probably a year from now. I hope I remember it exists within a year from now. Here's hoping. Like, favorite, chat, subscribe button, follow me on social platforms for on YouTube. I have a very amazing video for all you guys watching. Enjoy for today. Hopefully, have a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday. And remember, if you guys want to talk shit, I'm going to be here to let you know. So, be back. Take care and make good choices. See ya.